Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Wright, and welcome to Wright at the Movies. Today, I'm talking about Pride and Prejudice and zombies. It's based on a mashup parody book by Seth Grahame-Smith, which was based on the original book by Jane Austen. And it's another adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, but you know, this time with zombies. Mixing two genres is hard to do. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it fails miserably. These movies are always really fun in concept, but they fall apart as they go along. That mix-match tone is really hard to pull off. I do think it can work someday. It actually reminded me a little bit of The Big Short. Knowing that the original material is seen as a little old or dry or slow, they add in all these fun new things to spice it up a little bit. The Big Short added in all these fun little scenes to explain banking, and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies adds, well, zombies. The first half of the movie was surprisingly energetic and fun. It came up with some pretty cool ways to stay loyal to the original book while also playing around with it a little bit. That balance between Pride and Prejudice and Zombies really worked. Making all these little changes to enhance the larger world really made it all feel so much more fun.
A woman must have a thorough knowledge of singing, dancing, and the art of war.
The pacing of the movie was slow and peaceful, like a Pride and Prejudice movie should be. The actors were all very heartfelt and sweet, like actors in a Pride and Prejudice movie should be. It had a lot of really nice cinematography and really long shots, like a Pride and Prejudice movie should have. And you know, there's also cool zombie fights. The movie really sold me on that juxtaposition, putting two things that don't work together and just crushing them together and forcing them to work. Having all these classic moments from Pride and Prejudice, except now in different contexts. Talking about marriage and rules while polishing guns. Talking about the future and talking about love while sparring.
The fairest wifely choices be right here in this room.
My daughters were trained for battle, sir. Not the kitchen.
It just takes these two elements that don't go together and makes them go together. But about halfway through, that delicate balance between smart and dumb tipped. It stops trying to be anything like the original subject matter about halfway through and becomes a generic zombie movie. And a pretty boring generic zombie movie at that. And since it's an action movie, there needed to be a big fight sequence at the end, but that totally clashes with the love story structure. And I think that's why it bothered me so much. It tries to cram in a bunch of stuff that feels weirdly forced, like a twist ending and a surprise villain that comes out of nowhere. After such a fun and fresh beginning, by the second half, I was totally lost. It also sort of feels like they realize their mistake and try to balance it back out at the very last minute with a bunch of Pride and Prejudice stuff. But by that point, it's way too late. Make up your mind, movie. Enhance the original subject matter or throw it away. But you can't do both.
I shall never relinquish my sword for a ring.
For the right man, you would.
The right man wouldn't ask me to.
Lily James as Elizabeth is really good in this. She was really great in Cinderella, and yet again, she steals the show in this. She's beautiful and a really great actress, and I hope to see her in more action movies in the future. And Matt Smith as Mr. Collins is probably the best casting in this whole movie. He plays awkward weirdo better than anyone else, and I've really missed him on Doctor Who. But the rest of the cast is just kind of there. None of the sisters really stand out to me, and Mr. Darcy, who's a huge fan favorite, is kind of forgettable. And that romance with Elizabeth, while fun, didn't really leave much of an impression on me. And Lena Headey from Game of Thrones and Dread shows up for a minute, and she's totally wasted.
I do not know which I admire more, your skill as a warrior, or your resolve as a woman.
The zombies look pretty cool, but also a little bit tame, because it's PG-13. Look, it's watchable, okay? It's fine. There's some fun scenes, and the joke of this movie existing is funny enough. But it doesn't really work as its own movie. At best, it's going to sit on a DVD shelf and work as an icebreaker. Huh. They made a movie of that. Weird. Anyway, the camera work was fine, the action was fine, the acting was fine, it was just fine. The ending tries to get bigger and crazier and it fails, and unfortunately makes the rest of the movie fall flat. I'm gonna have to give it one thumb down. Did you see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? What did you think? Comment down below. Thanks for watching. I'm Mr. Wright. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.